All right, let's talk NFL trade deadline kind of as a whole. We talked about the Logan Wilson trade, obviously. 3 big moves as far as I'm concerned. And the Jets trade 2 of their 3 best players, right? Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams. And the Seahawks go out there and get Rashid Shaheed from the New Orleans Saints. And we'll get to that one in a minute because I really want to talk about that one. But we'll start with Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner, of course, went to the University of Cincinnati, was a top-of-the-line draft pick, was really good early in his career, and he got his big-time money extension for the Jets. So if you're the Colts here in this situation, you don't have to worry about extending him. Like, you got him, and you've got him for a while here. But you gave up 2 first-round picks in order to get it. And I respect the swing from Chris Ballard, right, the GM of the Colts. He's been in place here since 2017, I believe. And, this is a guy that going into the year, well, he was fighting for his job. And it looks like he hit the Daniel Jones thing out of the park, and that's going to save him. And he's in a spot here where he's got really nothing to lose, where he's like, yeah, nobody expected us to be good. We're really good. Well, let's go all in for this move for Sauce Gardner. But trading 2 first-round picks for a corner, to me, is not good. Is not good at all. And maybe they prove me wrong, and maybe Indianapolis goes and competes in the AFC Championship here, but I think that's got to be like the bar, right? I sat on this show earlier this week and said, like, if you get to the playoffs, if you're the Colts, season's a success. You had Daniel Jones coming in. Nobody expected anything from you. If you get to the playoffs, it's a success. Now, all of a sudden, you make this move where you give up 2 first-round picks. You don't have a first-round pick here this year. You don't have one in 2027 either. Now it's like you better make the AFC Championship here with a move like this. Again, I respect the swing from Chris Ballard. I really do, right? Because clearly, ever since Luck retired, they've kind of been in shambles. Kind of a miraculous he's been able to hold on to his job this long to this point. Hit the Daniel Jones thing out of the park. Great hire, by the way, for Shane Steichen. Did a great job there. But 2 first-round picks for a corner, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't care how good you are at corner. I don't think that is a position where you can give up 2 first-round picks. It's just so, one, the injuries that these guys have. Sometimes they age really, really quickly. If they lose a step, and it's like, well, they're not even nearly the same player they once were. And that's a big issue. And I look at Sauce, and I see, like, yeah, we all loved him at UC. He was incredible. First couple of years with the Jets, yeah, he was incredible. But this recent version of Sauce Gardner, he's not the best cornerback in the league. He's not even close, really, as far as I'm concerned. I think Surtain is years, miles in front of him. Stingley, I think, offers you a lot more there as well. And Sauce Gardner, his thing is he's big and physical and tough, and he'll kind of bully you a little bit. Well, if you're in a situation with Sauce Gardner, and we kind of talked about this earlier in his career, it's like, well, if he starts getting called for pass interference here, he's going to be in trouble. And that's kind of happened a little bit for Sauce Gardner. He doesn't have, crazy speed where he can just mirror you and run with you all along the football field. He's not as twitchy and athletic as a guy like Stingley or a guy like Surtain, right? This isn't the best cornerback in the National Football League. And you just gave 2 first-round picks for him. Right? Remember when the Rams traded for Jalen Ramsey? At the time, it was like, oh, like this is the best cornerback in the National Football League. Go get him. And they did, and it clearly worked out for him. That's not the situation we're in here with Sauce Gardner. You just gave up 2 first-round picks for a corner, right? Again, respect the swing. Chris Ballard, he went out there and he said, you know what? We're going to take a swing. We're going to go all in here on this year. We feel like we had a roster to win a Super Bowl. We're going all in. I respect that. It takes a lot of guts to do that as a GM. Sometimes these guys are a little bit tentative. That wasn't Chris Ballard. But I just don't – I do not see that. Sauce Gardner, 2 first-round picks. He's not the best corner in the National Football League. I would even go as far as to say it's not close, right? He's had some injury concerns. It's an injury-prone position, really, at cornerback. And, to give up 2 first-round picks for him. And, we'll see if Travaris Ward can, come back. And he's having a really good year, by the way, for Anarumo. So if you pair him with Ward, Sauce and Ward, maybe you really have something there. But that is a really aggressive swing. 2 first-round picks. This day and age in the NFL, it seems like as time goes on, picks just continue to become a little bit more valuable. I mean, like, do you think of Sauce Gardner as impactful as a guy like Micah Parsons? No, right? If you're going to go all in on that player, you got to go all in on a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman, all right? It's a trench guy. It's a quarterback, maybe a receiver, but not a corner. Not a corner. I don't understand that at all. Wish him the best, obviously. Went to UC, what have you. Now he has an opportunity to play on a good team, right? And we'll see if it works out. But all of a sudden, if you're the Colts, you put a ton of pressure on yourself because I think you're a team that gets in the playoffs and win a game, even without Sauce Gardner. Well, now your expectation is higher. You just gave up 2 first-round picks. Like, you need to see an AFC championship here in the next couple of years. And do you really think, as good as Daniel Jones has been, that he's capable of doing that? I don't know. I have my reservations when it comes to that. Quinnen Williams, another good player. By the way, Quinnen Williams, who's a more better, valuable player, Quinnen Williams or Sauce Gardner? Quinnen Williams, right? Really, without a doubt. Interior defensive lineman, great run stopper, applies pressure on the quarterback. He's a great player. He's fantastic. And it was kind of an interesting move from Jerry. When you got the news that they did it, my initial reaction was, what? Like, why? Like, you're not going to win this year. What are you doing? Well, you still have an opportunity here. The Cowboys obviously have an additional first-round pick this year with the Micah Parsons trade, and they still will have 2 first-round picks in 2026. So they're basically going kind of all in for the 2026 season and the 2027 season. I think this year is kind of a lost cause. Obviously, it kind of provides some energy and some enthusiasm into the team for Brian Schottenheimer. I think this is kind of a tip of the hat to Brian Schottenheimer if you're Jerry Jones, basically saying, you know what, we believe in you. Hasn't been pretty or super pretty throughout the whole year to this point, but offensively, we like what you're doing with Dak. Dak still can play at a high level. We obviously got to fix this defense. We're going to throw you a bone here, and we're going to show you that, hey, we believe in you. Might not work out for us this year, but going forward, next year is a big year. I mean, they got two first-round picks here this year due to the Dallas Cowboys, and they're going to go defense on those picks. And if you can hit on them and get some guys that can come in and contribute right away, all of a sudden you put Quinnen Williams there, all of a sudden you're forgetting about Micah Parsons not being there, and it becomes a good move. And so it's a second-round pick, I believe, this year for the Cowboys, and a first-rounder in 27. Going to the Jets in the Quinnen Williams deal, I believe that is what it is. Also, Mozzie Smith going. And by the way, I touch on this real quick. A.D. Mitchell, you gave him up there as well if you're the New York Jets. So the Sauce deal really has me like, whoa, what in the world is going on there? But A.D. Mitchell, has he, been a great player in the NFL? No, but I think he's got some upside, right? A couple of years ago, coming out of Texas, a lot of people thought that, okay, he could potentially be a quality player for you. So that's another piece that you lose there if you're the Indianapolis Colts. But the Quinnen Williams trade, at first I was like, what are you doing, Dallas? And then I was like, okay, I see what you're doing there. You believe in the offense. You think next year you're going to be able to be really good on offense still. You got CD under contract. We'll see what they do with George Pickens. And if you can just rebuild that defense, they're kind of in a similar situation to the Bengals where it's like, we don't need a top 10 defense. We just need a defense that's middle of the pack type situation. I think you can do that with a guy like Quinnen Williams. He really is a good catalyst. I love Quinnen Williams. I loved him at Alabama. And he's a terrific football player, and he's kind of been in purgatory here for his career as he's been a member of the New York Jets. But, Quinnen Williams, another big-time trade. And, if you're Garrett Wilson, you're probably just like, dang. Right? I mean, it's like you're going to give 2 of your best 3 players away. The Jets are cooked for the foreseeable future. We'll talk about the Jets a little bit more in detail after we talk about the Shaheed trade. But, I mean, I kind of feel bad for Garrett Wilson. Like, he's in his prime right now, and he's got no quarterback. It's his buddy Fields, so maybe that helps a little bit. And just no structure around him. And this Jets team is bad this year, but it's going to be worse or just as bad next year. It's going to be a while before they even have a chance at getting this thing cleaned up. But we'll talk about the Jets in a second. I think those are 2 huge names right there, obviously, Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. It is my opinion that the best move of the day was the Seattle Seahawks trading for Rashid Shaheed. And Rashid Shaheed, former wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints, guy's a burner. Guy's a speedster. Guy is a down-the-field threat. And obviously JSN has incredible speed there as well. But all of a sudden, you put him on the Seattle offense, and you go, oh, right, I understand he's not going to come in and be the one. You got JSN. You don't need the one. Cooper Kupp still does his job out there. Is he the, former Triple Crown guy that he once was? No, but still a really good football player, right? And you bring Shaheed here into this offense. It's that down-the-field threat. It's that vertical presence. All of a sudden, you go, oh, Seattle – like, that's not a move that's going to set you back if you miss, right? 4th, 5th round pick for him. You didn't have to give up a first-round pick. You didn't give up 2 like the freaking Colts did. for Sauce Gardner, it's 4th, 5th round pick, not much there. You can afford that for a player that's going to come in here, have instant impact. This is a guy in New Orleans. Think about, what they've been doing at the quarterback position. Just shambles. Complete shambles. Rattler, now they're on Shuck. He's no good. We all know that, right? And, Shaheed's still been able to put up some numbers. I think he was on track for a 1,000-yard season, which is really impressive because New Orleans is a complete mess, especially on the offensive side of the football. And, look, we had Seattle high in our power rankings this week. I think they are a real threat in this thing, man. I really do. Sam Darnold, he makes some dumb mistakes, but he loves throwing the ball down the football field. Think about that last year in Minnesota, right? How often they would take deep shots to J.J. and Jordan Addison there as well. Now all of a sudden you got JSN and Kupp, vertical guy going down the field, and Rashid Shaheed really can help spread things out. That offense becomes really, really fun now. And you got 2 quality backs there with Walker and Charbonnet, and that defense, John Schneider has done a terrific job. And people talk about Howie Roseman, and they talk about Brett Veach, and they talk about Les Snead as kind of the top-of-the-line GMs. John Schneider's unbelievable. What he's done, and there's 2 massive moves that he has made that he has absolutely hit out of the park. When they traded Russell Wilson, a lot of people were like, oh, that's a problem. What is Seattle doing? These guys are about to lose their jobs. No. Actually, the people in Denver should have been the people that lost their jobs there in that situation, because brilliant trade from John Schneider to get rid of Russell Wilson. He was kind of, wasn't like everybody loved him in the locker room. His performance clearly was going downhill. Couldn't, escape as well outside of the pocket. And from the pocket, Russell Wilson's just not a starting NFL quarterback. What made him special was his ability to escape, what he could do outside the pocket. For whatever reason, he aged rather quickly. He took a lot of shots early in his career. Schneider saw that. He moved off, got a bunch of picks there. From the Seahawks, from the Broncos, rather, there as well. The decision to move off Pete Carroll. I love Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll's tremendous. I'm rooting for him in Vegas. In that division, with the roster he has and the quarterback he has, he doesn't really have much of a chance. Tom Brady hosed him when he didn't want Sam Darnold and he went with Geno Smith, right? So I don't know if it's going to work out for Pete in Vegas. But, that's a tough decision. You won a Super Bowl with Pete. Should have won 2, right? And he says, you know what? We're going to move off you, Pete. Mike Macdonald. What a hire that was. Incredible. This guy's, one of the young up-and-coming coaches in this league. Didn't get a ton of buzz around him last year, but now it's like, oh, this team was one of the best teams in the NFC. We were talking about the Seattle Seahawks, the DK Metcalf deal. Tremendous, right? He knew what he had in JSN. He said, DK, you've done good things for us. You put up big numbers. You sold a lot of jerseys, right? A lot of people love you. But we're going to move off of you. We got this guy here in Smith-Njigba that is ready to be a 1. And clearly JSN is ready to be a 1. So John Schneider deserves a lot of credit for how he has handled the operation there in Seattle for several years now. And he's one of those guys, man. That is the top-of-the-line GM there. And I'm telling you, this move for Rashid Shaheed is going to be huge for them. Now, they're in a tough division. All right, is this going to put them over top of the Rams? No, but we do know the Rams have kind of lost some games that, maybe they shouldn't, or they mess around a little bit, play with their food from time to time. I still think the Rams are a better team. I still think the Rams ultimately win that division and probably get further in the playoffs as well. But Seattle, man, they're a real threat. And then the Sam Darnold going after him in free agency, great move by John Schneider. And he's done a lot of great things. And defensively, you got a bunch of guys on rookie contracts that can play. That can absolutely go out there and play. So John Schneider, he's kind of flown under the radar here a little bit, but the moves that he has made, absolutely tremendous for the Seattle Seahawks. And to me, I tweeted this yesterday, I think that's the move of the day, right? I get it's not as big of a name as Quinn Williams or Sauce Gardner, but only a 4th or 5th round pick for a team that literally you just give them a guy that can run down the field, be a vertical threat for you, and their offense is really going to take off. Shaheed's a burner now. He's a speedster. If you watch the Saints at all, it's a mess, so I don't blame you if you haven't. But he can flat out get down the football field. And I think Sam Darnold chucking that thing up, JSN, clearly a 1. Kupp still has it. They can run the ball. Defense is great. Great home field advantage. Look out for the Seattle Seahawks. Great move from John Schneider and company.